talk us a little bit about the process of creating this film and then taking it from an idea to actually pitching it.
Yeah, so the process of creating it. Funny enough, it was like a throwaway script, and so it was one of those like, I'm just gonna write it so that I can get the story out, but I don't actually want anyone to ever see this because it was personal. It's a personal story to me, so it was very like, I'm just gonna write it, whatever, and then just kind of, and then the more I read it, and I would pass it for notes and have other people read it, and they were like, you should actually do something with this. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it into a film, and then I realized how much money it takes to make film, and I was like, never mind. So then I decided so I wrote like a 2-minute version of this, and I was gonna make it into like a teaser, and then I was going to use that to fundraise for a bigger version, something like this. And I had people on board, and it was like going well, and then like 3 days before we were about to shoot, everything fell through. So people stopped like answering their phones, people didn't want to help anymore, people just kind of like fell through to where it was just me and a sound guy. And we were like, so I didn't have to do the film. And then a friend of mine in the cohort sent me the flyer for the pitch competition. She was like, you should enter in this. And that's how I know it was a God thing, because I didn't, I was off social media at the time, so I didn't see it. I didn't see the flyer, I didn't know the pitch competition was happening. And part of me didn't want to get off of social media because I was like, opportunities come on there and I didn't want to miss out. But something, God was like, just relax, So I got off, and then somehow it still made its way to me. That's why I was like, this is definitely a God thing. And then, I pitched the idea. We had 90 seconds, and I was terrified, but it worked, so.
I love that. That is the story of perseverance and overcoming self-doubt. And getting down to it where it's just you and a sound guy. Sometimes it's like that in the creative world, right? You have this team of people that you start with or that you dream of having, but it takes you deciding, I'm going to make this thing happen, and here we are. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Lorenzo, you are the director of this film. Yes. And partnered with the cohort. Talk to us about directing a film. What is it like for you? And what kind of advice would you give to people who want to get into directing?
Directing the film was really awesome because it was very professionally ran in the sense of like how it was all set up. So it was cool to work with like a big crew, actual proper equipment, an actual cast. We had 7 casts. And the whole process, it's really, really stressful in the sense of there's a lot of energy and work to do. You have to have a lot of energy and work. And I think the biggest thing you have to be able to do is communicate. Communicate in ways to make people understand what exactly it is that you need from them. And that's different for everybody, depending on what you need. Depending on how you talk to your star, how you talk to one of your actresses, how you talk to your production designer, your gaffer, your DP, it's all different. You have to be able to speak in their words and their terms and the ways they understand. And I think as a director, my job was just to take all of these pieces and all of these parts and make them work all together. And that's probably the most challenging thing, is when you go from paper, which is one medium, to film, which is a completely other one. There's a lot of things that change and morph and transform. And so you just gotta make sure you can make it all work. So yeah.
Yeah. Swami and Zakari, you were part of the cohort. How did Free Spirit cohort and the production of Bermuda kind of prepare you or kind of inspire you with the careers that you are pursuing right now?
Yeah, go first. So I'll split the question into 2 different parts. Being a part of the cohort, it meant a lot to me. I had applied the year before and I was waitlisted. I was like, oh no, I don't think I'm gonna get in. I don't know what to do. So just like really persevering, pushing forward, just the determination to get into the next cohort, to getting a part of the 2020 cohort meant a lot. The pandemic really shook everything up. Before that, we had like a lot of wonderful workshops, I would say. We had like a lot of different activities, a lot of different guest speakers who were very helpful. One of the activities we had that was incredibly helpful, meaningful for me, we had to create a vision board. And I never really officially created one before, But I was like, okay, I'm gonna try my best. So just like creating inspirational quotes throughout it. And one thing I really had for myself, I had the goal, I really wanted to start grad school that fall of 2020. I had Savannah College of Art and Design. That was my dream grad school. I really wanted to get into it. I put it on that board, and that fall I got into school there. Just by taking So yeah, I'm currently there now, pursuing my master's degree. But like, if we didn't have that activity of creating a vision, I don't think I would have pushed myself to go for it. Speaking specifically towards working on Bermuda, that also was really helpful. So I was camera utility, aka also digital utility. The word is kind of used interchangeably in the industry. My role was supporting the camera department. So whatever they needed help with, you need me to grab batteries, you need me to move cases, you need me to move tripods, all of that, I'm here to help you. So that was a lot of my role, just really being present in the moment, being able to support and help out as much as I could. The DP for the project, Eric Liberaki, he noticed how hard I was working. He said, hey, I'm gonna recommend her over to working on a show for the summer. Worked over on the show, HBO, Somebody Somewhere, season 1. I was the camera PA. And just things took off from there for me. I ended up being over day playing as digital utility over for one day on 4400. I was over day playing on Chicago Med as a set PA, and then also one day as digital utility over there as well. So just the cohort production, like it really got things happening for me. So I'm really thankful for the cohort collectively. I'm thankful for the both of you. I'm thankful for Ira, Kavana, Kayla, Glennis, like all of their hard work, all of their education, all of everything they poured into us. Like it really meant a lot, and just carrying that off, working over in the industry and the union world meant a lot. So.
How about you, Jakar?
No, beautiful voice. Seriously though, well, for me, where I come from, like in an underserved community, there's not a lot of opportunities to do like creative work or anything like that. So when it came to Free Spirit Media, when I got the opportunity to come over there, it really helped me with the tools that I needed to actually work in the industry, as opposed to like making backyard indie films and like forcing my friends to help. You know what I mean? I actually knew, you know what I'm saying, how to work my way into those spaces and how to, you know, be a professional in those spaces. So as far as the cohort, what I will say is it was great. Industry professionals like Sarabi and everybody said speaking to us, and that was great. One thing I will say though, the creative community that you build being a part of this cohort, like I said, coming from my community, I didn't have nobody that was really creative that I could feed off of. And what I will say as far as getting into the film industry, speaking with other cohort members, that's how I actually got on my first set. So I was actually working on set, work in progress for Showtime, and then I actually did Shining Girls for Apple TV. And appreciate it. And more in the future. But the point I was trying to make with that is that, you know, I got to do and working on another show that I can't speak about. But the point is I got that by speaking to my other cohort members and, you know, them putting me on to, hey, here's a Facebook film page that do background, or Facebook film page that do PA work. So talking to that creative community, like I said before, was very valuable in addition to the actual workshops that they provided. And I even met one of the people that led a workshop on set, on my first set that I worked on, without even getting to Bermuda yet. So it's just like you never know. And having that rapport and stuff, it really makes a difference when it comes to trying to get your foot in the door, as you say, no matter where you at. And then as far as Bermuda is concerned, I was a producer's assistant, so I was under Kayla. Doing right there, the pretty baby. Right. But I was under Kayla, and just a phenomenal professional, just as far as like in general, but just like working in the film industry really got me in the mindset of, okay, this is how it's supposed to be done if I ever go anywhere else and have to do it. So that was amazing. And then I was a PA also and background extra too. So that was my third set I was on, like 7 days, because I was referred for like more sets. But by the time I got to Bermuda, I was tapped, y'all. Like when I tell y'all, I was like, 12-hour days. It was a lot. So really learned a lot, great value. Hope I wasn't rambling.
I love the testimonies about how the cohort builds your confidence, gives you connection. connections, gives you experience, all of those things which are hard to find sometimes. Let's talk a little bit about getting into the industry. Are there any gems that you can provide for some of the young creators in the room about who want to get into the industry? Maybe some do's or don'ts, or some things that you've experienced. What would you advise young creators? This is for anyone.
So I've been PAing a lot on commercial sets, like professional commercial sets. I think one of the hardest steps is getting the foot in the door, but I think what can help with that is always, you have to seem eager, you have to seem passionate, and you're going to be doing a lot of things that might seem beneath you or, like grunty, taking out trash, washing dishes, stuff like that. But all of it is a test. And if you see it as a test and you see it as like a step in the ladder, they keep giving you more and more responsibility, more accountability, more freedom to work as you can because they can trust you. And with that, you use that opportunity. You got to be strategic about it. You got to know how to read a room. You got to know how to you can't seem overbearing or overeager. You know when it's right to pitch yourself, to pitch what you want to do with them. When you build a rapport, you build a relationship, you can definitely open doors for yourself. But it all comes with the right time. And as long as you prove that you worked hard, like people see it, so they're gonna act accordingly.
Bouncing off of what Lorenzo just said, definitely eagerness and just inserting yourself into those spaces. So when I don't come from a film background. I come from an athletic background, an athletic family. So that's all education and sports was what we did. And I remember my first day being on the Center Space lot. I quit I got a job offer for this marketing job that I knew I would be miserable at. And I told my mom, I was like, I think I want to do film and I don't want to take this gig. And she said, she was doing her makeup in the mirror. She was like, and I said, can I use your car? She said, you got 1 hour because I'm going to work. I said, okay. So I grabbed the keys and I drove in the middle of the rain. And I stopped literally right outside of here. And I stood here with my resume, and every single person that walked out of the building, I said, hi, my name is Jasmine B. Jimmy. This is my resume. It was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever did in my life. But that day, I met someone who worked here who was like, I'm not supposed to do this, but follow me. And he took me to backstage to where the Shy films, and he led me upstairs to stage 18. Ended up getting my first internship that day. And that was because I stood in the rain and passed out my resume. Because I was like,
Are you recommending people who stand in the rain and hand up
stand in the rain, everyone. No, but I mean, just like he said, it really takes eagerness and what are you willing to do to really do this, this thing if you feel like it's your calling. So.
One thing I would say, in the spirit of eagerness, like I said, in my community, I didn't have a lot of resources, so I did a lot of background indie stuff, and I would have my friends help me with it. And one thing I will say, I was editing off of a free editing app called KeyMaster. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but I was doing full length reality shows, films on KeyMaster off my Android. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I will say is, even with those shows and stuff, never seeing the light of day again, I still to this day, while working on Adobe Premiere or working with other professionals or in other jobs, go back to that editing structure that I created when editing on KeyMaster, because it's although you may not know where the value is in what you're doing in the moment, just like somebody said, I can't remember who, but said, Lorenzo was it may seem beneath you. You may not know where that value is in that whatever that role or whatever that thing is that you're doing. You may not know what the value is, but it's there. And just because you don't see it right away, don't quit. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll never see the outcome. So yeah, just like all those films that never see the light of day, when I get down on, to this editing software, I'm gonna be using the same mindset. So it's always valuable.
Eagerness has already been emphasized. I'll speak to a different aspect. I would say networking is very important, communicating is very important. Even if you're not on a set, try to see if you can find different workshops, different free classes. There's always a free class, a free course somewhere, or kind of cheap, affordable. Try to find some of those somewhere and get there and communicate with people in the room. You don't know what other people's jobs are, what other people's experiences are. You never know where your next job is going to come from. So definitely communicating with those people. And then when you get over on set, continuing to show your eagerness, be humble, be thankful, be appreciative. Continue to communicate with the people on set. Say, hey, I'm so-and-so. If they ask you what you're interested in, be open, be honest. Say, hey, I want to become a director, a producer, a DP. What can I do to get in your role, or what can I do to get there? And people really love answering questions, as long as you're not asking them at the wrong time. So read the room, make sure that you ask questions at the appropriate time.
Great advice. I hope someone was taking notes on that. This is real advice for people who are doing it, who started this at this point, and then here you are on this panel talking about this film, Bermuda.